What's up, everybody? Crocodile here, and we're back from vacation. This is the screen. This is the screen. We're rebuilding the channel. Don't forget to check it out. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you're searching for the Crocodile, not the Crocodile. And we're back from vacation, and we went over some of the recap cards in a previous video. I'm pumping out two today. Jumpstart cards. Let's get into these things, man. Look, I can't cover all of them. There's like 182 of them, but they pumped out a lot of cards, and I mean, these are some deep cuts, like with a wizard. You got Wiccan and Speed, and Flatman, Doorman, Moon Boy, Big Bertha. Like, I can't cover all these. I'm gonna do a recap video on some my top most anticipated uncommons and all that stuff, and if some of these are in there, they'll be in there. Let's get over the rares. Amazing Spider Girl, 3 white, legendary creature, 5/4, spider human hero with web slinging. So web slinging's back on this card. So when a creature's tapped, you can play the web slinging, bounce that creature back, and put this one in, so you can get it in for 3 instead of 5. Flying Vigilance, 5/4. It's alright. It's okay. Black Panther, most dangerous, 2 and a white. 3/3 legendary creature, human warrior hero. Whenever Black Panther is dealt damage, he deals that much damage to any other target. So it's kind of like his vibranium suit. And then you got power up for 7. Put 2/1/1 counters on Black Panther. Other creatures get 2/2 into the turn. So it's kind of like a finisher in like your White Weenie style kind of deck, in my opinion. Not sure. I'm sure it's playable in some like hero commander deck that you'll be building. A lot of these are going to be more like commander focused than they will be, because I don't believe they're legal in anything other than like commander and legacy and all that stuff. So Captain America, Liberator, 3 white. When Captain America enters, you may search your library for an equipment, 3 or less, put it onto the battlefield, and then shuffle. Whenever Captain America attacks, for each equipment attached to him, create a 1/1 white soldier. So there's already the Captain America equipment deck, so I think this would slot in perfectly there. And then whenever you're attacking with your Voltron Captain America, now you're getting a bunch of but that's only for this one. But it says whenever Captain America. I'm assuming that's this one. I still think they go in the same deck, because it searches out an equipment, and maybe your commander died, and you can put him on this guy and make a board. So then you got Captain America Skybound, 3 white, 3/5, Flying Vigilance, Battalion. We haven't seen that in a while. Whenever Captain America and at least 2 other creatures attack, put a 1/1 counter in each attacking creature, and they gain indestructible. Really strong, and like with the Black Panther deck and this Captain America, this like big go wide board style deck. Next, Captain Marvel Shooting Star, 5 white, 6/6, legendary creature, human Kree hero, flying. Whenever Captain Marvel enters or attacks, exile up to 1 target creature. That creature's controller gains life equal to its power. So it's got like swords to plowshares on it. And then and that's enters or attacks. And then whenever a creature other than Captain Marvel is exiled from the battlefield, you gain life equal to its power. So comes in 7 mana is a lot. Commander, I guess it's pretty decent, obviously, when you're going to come down, get rid of their biggest or most powerful threat with a Swords to Plowshare on enter, and then you're also gaining life equal to that creature's power, which is great, because you can save yourself. You can kill their, like 16, they gain 16, you gain 16, but so at least keeps you in the game longer. But yours is on attack and enter, or on enters and attacks. Dr. Strange Surgeon, we didn't see him in the main set, so it's nice to see him in the Jumpstart, which a lot of creatures kind of did that, or a lot of characters did that. Maybe they'll save him for another set, mystical set. 4 and a white, 2/5, life link. If you would gain life, you gain twice that much life. We've seen that, numerous times on like life gain decks. At the beginning of each combat, if you have at least 10 life more than you're starting, all your creatures get 2/2 and gain vigilance. Very classic, like life gain deck synergy payoff. I'm sure that goes straight in. Hawkeye Bowslinger, 2 and a white, 3/3, reach vigilance. Whenever you cast a spell that targets creature, put a 1/1 counter on Hawkeye and Scry. I mean, they brought back Battalion. I don't know why they just didn't give him keyword like heroic from Theros, because heroic, it's literally heroic. I don't know. I think that's a flavor miss, but cool card. He goes in like one of your heroic decks. Hyperion's Supreme Hero for white, 7/7, flash flying. If a source would deal damage to you or a hero you control, prevent all but one. I mean, very strong effect. He's an Eternal. Very strong effect. A lot of mana. A lot of mana. A lot of these are very expensive, like that Captain Marvel, but I think hers is pretty worth it because you're knocking down a board and gaining life. Then I guess if you play her with Doctor Strange and you gain life, and 10, you're giving your creatures 2/2 and vigilance. Hyperion, I'm sure somebody will play him. The prevent all but one is pretty good text box. Matt Murdock, Justice Seeker, 1 and a white, 2/2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 1. When you do, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Each creature you control with a counter has ward 1. I feel like a lot of these cards are like this, like human hero white weenie style deck. Like Captain America, Black Panther, Matt Murdock. I think they all kind of go together. Nick Fury, Spy Master, 4 and a white. 4/4 first strike. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, so like Exalted, draw a card. Pretty good. Then you may put a creature card with mana value 3 or less from your hand onto the battlefield. It enters tapped and attacking. That is very good. For 5, 4/4, I wouldn't put like that's not your general. It goes in the 99, but you're also getting like draw a card, and you're getting to put a card tapped and attacking and indestructible. Fits in the same kind of strategy. Maybe not the go wide version, because you're not gonna want to like attack alone exalted, but like more like a bigger white attacking deck, or just like in the Avengers deck, the precon. Good upgrade. Keep in mind these are Jumpstart, so you'll have to get them from Jumpstart boosters or collector boosters. Quantum Entanglement, 1 and a white. Flash, when this enchantment enters at the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1 and a white. When you do, exile target creature you control, and then return that card to the battlefield. I feel like this goes in every Flash Blink deck because it's like there's like a mirror that does this. I can't remember it off the top of my head. If you remember, let me know down in the comments below. And I believe the effect is the same cost, like 2, right? But that one's colorless. But it blinks and it comes back to the battlefield to get to reuse ETBs. Great art. We're into the blues. Mysterio's Mirage, 2 and a blue. Enchantment. I really want this card, by the way. At the beginning of your end step, if you discarded a card, playing the Doctor Doom deck, create a 3/3 blue illusion villain creature token. So he's a villain that can do the conniving and all that nonsense. And then it triggers off your discards that you're already trying to do, and he's building your villain board for all your other villain synergy payoffs. Immortus, Master of Eternity. So there's like, I think there was some in my intro with all the cards flashing on the screen. Like there's a few variants of King. This is one of them, Immortus. Legendary creature, human hero villain, 2/2. Add blue for each card you've drawn this turn. Spend this mana only to cast non-creature spells. And then 5 and a blue. Each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into their library and draws 7 cards, and you put a 1/1. Power-ups can only be done one time, so I feel like the 1/1 is weak. It should be like more than 1/1/1. But keep in mind that you can tap the blue for each mana you've drawn to also pay for that power-up cost. So that could be something like dig through time, draw 3, and then that reduces that by 3, and then all that nonsense. Get your graveyard back. Loki, Lord of Misrule, 3 and a blue, 3/4, God, Sorcerer, Villain. Tap. Choose target creature you control. Each creature you control other than the chosen creature becomes a copy of that creature until end of turn, except it isn't legendary. That's a Jumpstart card? Wow, I feel like that is I'm sure you could probably put that as a commander, but that definitely goes in like the 99 of the Loki deck, or plenty of other like copy illusion, copy your own creature decks, because you just get to make a bunch of copies of the same creature with like powerful attack triggers, or you know, uh, I wouldn't be enter the battlefield because they're just becoming a copy of, but like attack triggers or anything like that. That's crazy. That card is crazy for Jumpstart. Namor, Scourge of the Sea, 3 blue blue, flying. Each other merfolk you control with a 1/1 counter has flying. At the beginning of combat on your turn, targets you control connives. Merfolk and connive don't really go together, but I guess they do with the Namor. There's the Namor from the main set that it's like when you cast non-creature spells, you get a bunch of merfolk. So I don't know. I mean, I guess this goes in Merfolk just because it's giving your Merfolk 1/1 and flying, which is pretty darn good. And I guess you can keep growing the ones you want. I wouldn't use this as a general, but I would put it in the 99. Reed Richards, Smartest Man, 5 and a blue, 2/4, legendary human scientist hero, reach. You have no maximum hand size. The first time you draw a card each turn, except for the first card you draw during each of your draw steps, you draw 4 cards instead. Very expensive, but I mean, keeping your hand 4 cards deep each draw step is very powerful. I don't know who would want to abuse this, but I feel like that top up is crazy. Silver Surfer, pretty cool to see them do a Silver Surfer. Wasn't in the main set, probably saving them for the Cosmic set. 4 blue blue, 5/5 flash flying. Whenever Silver Surfer enters, exile any number of other target permanents you control. Return those to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. If a land enters this way, it enters tapped. So you could technically save your entire board from a Armageddon or board wipe or exile effects or anything like that, as long as you have the 7 mana. And I mean, that's everything. I don't know what like a farewell would be. Like, this is a good response to farewell. Somebody casts a farewell and you're just like, bloop. You know, it's Teferi's protection's cheaper and better, but you know, you're playing Marvel decks. Vision Spectral Synthesoid, 6 blue blue, legendary artifact creature robot hero, flying. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a non-creature or robot spell from your hand without paying its mana cost. 2/5. Good lord, that's a powerful effect, but 8 mana. I mean, it is a legendary artifact creature, and there's the Iron Heart that has improvise, so you could technically use improvise to cast this out for blue blue, and then during each of your turns you're playing a non-creature or a robot spell without paying its mana cost. So keep that in mind, that can significantly be reduced because it's like a legendary artifact, or just artifact in general. So yeah, keep my eye on that one for sure. Vulture, Feathered Fiend, 2 blue blue. 2/4 flying. Whenever one or more creatures you control with flying deal combat damage to a player, put a 1/1 counter on each of those creatures and draw a card. Pretty good. It doesn't connive. I was thinking maybe it connives, but it puts a 1/1 counter on each of those creatures and you draw 1 card. So I do think this goes well in creatures you control flying. I don't know. It depends on how many creatures you have flying in that, like Doctor Doom deck or like a villain deck. If you can get this, if it gave creatures with a 1/1 flying, I think that would be pretty good. All right, Wasp, Shrinking Savior, 2 and a blue. 1/3 flying. Whenever Wasp attacks up to one other target creature gets -3/0 until the end of your next turn. And then draw a card for each creature with power less than 0 on the battlefield. Whoa, less than 0. So you could target herself to draw. I mean, you could like, that's when he attacks. So you could always get herself, draw a card every turn, or you could shrink one of their mana dorks or something like that. I'm not sure there's like mass negative or like get to 0 power, but I mean, if somebody was playing something like that, where you did like trying to think of what would give like if you have a Knight of Souls Betrayal or something bringing creatures down like to 0, but they're still alive from their toughness, maybe this comes out, just draws a bunch of cards. That's a weird one, but I do like that she can draw a card per turn, but then she's shrinking herself, which, Wasp, that's pretty cool. Clone Saga, 3 in the blue. Chapter 1, Surveil 3. Surveil 3 is pretty strong. Whenever but for 4, it's kind of crazy. When you next cast a creature spell this turn, copy it. That's pretty good, except it isn't legendary. Choose a card name. Whenever a creature with a chosen card name does combat damage to a player, draw a card. So you could choose the card that you copied, and then you're drawing 2 a turn. Great in Commander, I'm sure. Copying your a strong ATB creature, etc. And then they reprinted Time Warp, which is pretty cool. Can't really see the art on that guy who's in there, but it looks like Kang. It looks like Kang. Pretty sweet. Black Widow, Deadly Hunter, 2 and a black, 3/3, Death Touch, Human Assassin Hero. Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card, lose life. There's the Serpent Society, and there's a lot of good Death Touch creatures in this set. And I know there's a lot of other ones, period, but there's a lot of good Death Touch creatures in this set. And I want to say that you take Serpent Society, make that your general, and then you take a bunch of the good Death Touch creatures from Finn the Fangbearer and from this set, and you make a Golgari Death Touch poison deck, because a lot of the Serpent Society cards, when they die and they're Death Touchers, you get to draw a card or something like that, I believe, and they have a very strong ability with a 5 poison counter, so nuts. Great card, I believe, because you're going to be playing a Death Touch deck, and you're going to be drawing cards, and you're going to be losing your 1 life, which a lot of those also have lifelink and stuff. So Citizen V or Citizen 5, Helmet Zemo, 2 and a black, 2/2, Human Noble Villain, lifelink. There you go. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on each villain you control. I'd have to. Oh yeah, I was gonna say I got one of the cards here. I've been building my Doom deck, and you got Gwenom. Gwenom's got Death Touch lifelink, and she's a symbiote spider hero though, so that doesn't work. I'll have to look into that, which other villains have lifelink or a way to gain life, and maybe put a couple of those. There's Doom right here next to us, but that might be strong enough. It is growing your board, and you're gonna have a lot of those 2/1 menaces and connived creatures. Crimson Cowl, Master of Evil, 2 and a black, 1/3. Whenever one or more non-token villains you control attack a player, create a 2/1. Dang. Yeah, that's... So all the tokens you're creating off of this, or that Saga in the set, or Madam Hydra, or any of the other good villain synergy payoffs that you would want to put in your villain Doom discard deck, or just maybe you'll find another villain commander. That seems pretty darn good. That's a pickup for me. And this next card, of course, is Dr. Doom. Even if it wasn't Doom and had this text box, is a pickup for me. 2 black, 4/4, legendary human sorcerer villain, lifelink. Tap, draw a card, lose 1 life. Then if your library has no cards, you win the game. So it's like a Thassa's Oracle or a Lab Man in black, not blue. And so you win the game even if you have 0 life or didn't draw a card because you're empty. That is a pickup. That is strong. That's going to be probably a pretty expensive Jumpstart card, which is crazy that that's in Jumpstart. So they've been really doing a good job in Jumpstart. Green Goblin, back for more. 3 black, 4/4, Flying Menace, Goblin Human Villain. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, you may discard a card. Okay, if you do, each opponent discards a card. Okay, and then it's got Madness for the same cost. Good golly molly. I think that's a super shoe in the Doom deck, because you're discarding a card and you're making you want to be discarding a card. Now you're making your opponent's discard a card, and it's Green Goblin, and there's an entire Green Goblin discard package. You got the Green Goblin Nemesis one that you're wanting to put in the deck. And then you've got the Green Goblin Revenant that you want to put in the deck. And the Ultimate Green Goblin. And, of course, Norman Osborn. So there's an entire, villain Green Goblin package that you put in that deck already. So yeah. Okay. Then we got Grim Reaper's Scythe, 2 and a black. Whenever one or more creature cards leave the graveyard, create a 2/2 black zombie legendary artifact. Notably, this is not an equipment. And then 3 and a black, sacrifice 2 creatures. Leave your graveyard. Okay, graveyard. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with the finality counter on it. Activate only as a sorcery. Creature cards. So if you're playing, like if you're playing a graveyard deck where you're constantly having things like Gravecrawler and other things come back from your graveyard, you're also getting a 2/2 black zombie on top of it. And then if you activate the ability, maybe sacrifice your Gravecrawler and something else, and then you bring like a bigger creature back, I can see this being worth it. 2 and a black, and then 4 mana to activate. I almost feel like the 2 and a black just for the top text box is kind of worth it. Kingpin Wilson Fisk, 3 and a black, 3/6. Human villain. Whenever you sacrifice Kingpin or another creature, create 2 treasure tokens. This ability triggers 1 to each turn. I mean, good flavor, but it's like I guess if you're playing it like a Sephiroth deck or anything like that, you're gonna create 2 treasures per turn, basically. But it doesn't trigger more than 1 per turn, which I guess is kind of limiting. But probably an okay card in the 99. Maybe it doesn't make the cut. Ultron the Annihilator, 3 black, 3/4, legendary artifact creature, robot villain. Whenever Ultron enters or attacks, create a 2/2 colorless robot villain. Villain synergies. Whenever an artifact is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, or an artifact card is put into your graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life. I do feel like that goes in the deck, especially if you're running the Black Doom that needs like a artifact or a plan or something like that to have indestructible, and like this can keep pumping out. Even if they kill like your Doom bots or whatever, this can still pump out the artifacts. Pretty cool. Viper Cruel Conspirator, 1 and a black, 2/2. Human Assassin Villain, target creature that's attacking alone, because white black kind of has like that, like attacking alone synergies. It gets 1/1. Target creature attacking alone gains Death Touch or Lifelink, which goes back to the Citizen Helmet Zemo back here, and the Death Touch deck. They reprinted Doomsday with, I think, great art. Some people are not thinking so much, but it's got the Doom bots. Black, red, black, search your library and graveyard for 5 cards, exile the rest, put the chosen cards on top of your library in any order, and then you lose half your life. And then you play this Doctor Doom right here, and you figure out a way to get rid of those last 5 cards quickly, and then you win the game. Reprint. Daredevil, Fearless Fighter, 2 and a red. Legendary human creature, human hero, 3/3. Whenever a source you control deals damage to you, Daredevil is that much to target opponent. So, wow. So if somebody bopped you for 16, you just pop 16 back to somebody else. Whenever Daredevil attacks, exile the top card of your library. Daredevil deals damage to you equal to that card's mana value. Okay. Big brains in the comments. Somebody give me some combos for that, because I know there are some. It's just not coming to me right off the top of my head. That's a good card. Hulkling, Young Avenger, 2 red, 4/4, Kree Skull Hero, so it doesn't have the Gamma tag. Flying, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Hulkling becomes a copy of up to 1 other target creature, so but except for his Hulkling Young Avenger. So you can copy a creature, no matter what it is, to get like their attack ability or whatever, and he gives it flying, so maybe he needs to get in, but he stays a 4/4, and he stays the named Hulkling Young Avenger. Yeah, I'm sure that's good. There's things that you can do with that just to copy like a stronger creature with a good ETB and get double ETBs and maybe get through damage because of the flying. And then Iron Fist, Hero for Hire, 1 and a red, 2/2. Legendary creature, human mercenary hero, Trample Prowess. Trample Prowess, pretty good. Power up 7 in the green. Iron Fist deals damage divided as you choose among up to 5 targets. Put 5 1/1 counters with Iron Fist. There's a Shang-Chi coming up. I think it's Jumpstart. It might have been main set, where like your first power up you do each turn is 0, or maybe when he enters it's 0. Like pretty much like play that, play this, and then you get to do 5 damage as you divided amongst targets, and then put 5/1/1 counters on him, and now he's 7/7 trample with prowess. I think that seems pretty good. Jack of Hearts, volatile hero, 1 red, 2/2. Alien, human hero, flying haste. When he dies, he deals damage equal to his power to each creature. Then you can like discard your hand with power up and draw 3 cards and put 2/1/1 counters, so it'd make him do 4 to each creature. I'm sure there's ways to pump him up and sack him and pop the board. Luke Cage, hero for hire, 2 red. Human mercenary hero, 4/4. Trample at the beginning of your combat on your turn. Create a treasure token. Sweet Christmas. I wish he was a villain, but he's not. That might be too slow for that effect though. Like 4/4/4/4. That just makes it 1 treasure token. Yeah, that might be too slow. But Nico Minoru, there's a deep cut runaway. 3/0 red, 2/4 human warlock hero. Whenever you cast spell from anywhere other than your hand, Nico Minoru deals 2 damage to each opponent. Table wide. I love table wide hits. 2 in a red, discard a card, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card, and then you can. Whoa! Discard a card, exile cards to hit a non-land, cast it for free. I know there's something there. There's like the paradigm cards from Strixhaven, something like that. I know there's bigger than that, but like those are just the first that come to my mind because they're relevant and new. And then you get to not 2 to everybody's face and cast that card. That is also, this Jumpstart is crazy. Pick up the pace, 1 in a red. Enchantment, whenever a creature you control enter this turn attacks, exile top card of your library. You may play cards exiled with this enchantment as long as you attack this turn. So you can kind of build up the things as long as they don't pop your enchantment. And then it's got Wiccan and Quicksilver on there, which is cool. Very like hyper realistic looking art compared to like some of this other stuff, which is off-putting. Spider-Man new champion, looks like Miles' suit, 2 in a red, 3/3 Spider-Human hero. Reach, whenever you discard 1 or more cards, Spider-Man deals that much damage to any target. See, this is like a card I think I would put in the Doom deck, even if he is a hero, because you're already discarding cards, and now 1 or more cards. So whenever you discard 1 or more, deals that much damage to any target. So is it only 1 damage per turn though? Yeah, 1 or more. If it said discard a card, it could do like 7 damage if you did. Okay, maybe that's not as good. It looks like it's only 1 ping per turn. The Vision and Scarlet Witch, 2 red, legendary artifact creature, mutant hero. Keep in mind the improvise cost and artifact reduction cost. Flying, whenever you cast a spell, add red and put a 1/1 counter on the Vision and Scarlet Witch. Cast a spell, add red. I'm sure this can go in like the Storm decks and stuff like that and maybe help out, but it seems rather weak compared to some of the other mythics we've seen. Wanda's Vision, 3 red. Enchantment, whenever you cast your second spell. Hold on, enchantment. Whenever you cast your second spell, per turn, exile cards at the top of your library until you exile non-land. Man, what's up with this? Like, paying things without their mana cost. I know it's 5, but it's like your second spell per turn. You're doing that a lot in red, and you get a free card. That's a good one. That's better than the Vision of Scarlet Witch. Thor Asgard's Avenger, 2 red, 4/4 legendary creature, god, warrior hero. Flying, if another source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage +1. I wish it did more than +1. I wish it did like +2 to 4, and then I feel like it might be worth it. It kind of feels weak. I am a little sad that we got like so many of these like weird, like, I mean, Nico's not that weird, but like weird offcuts like you saw in the beginning. We didn't get a single beta rebuild. Heroic Feast, 2 in a green. Whenever this enchantment enters, create a food. Whenever you gain life, choose up to that many target creatures you control and put a 1/1 on each of them. Whenever you gain a life, choose up to that many. So if you gain 3, you choose 3. Yeah, that's pretty good. Like green, white, like board, big board, life gain, food decks. I just saw like the text box on this as I was like peripheral. This card is going to be expensive. 2 green 5/5 trample. Other dinosaurs get 1/1 and have hexproof. Yep, Dino Lovers. That's going to be expensive. Giant Man, Gargantuan Genius 3 green 6/6. Reach at the beginning of the first main phase. Add green for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be used as well. There's it's for each 4 or greater, so you are playing into like most green decks are playing big ding dong creatures anyways, little Timmies. So this will indeed probably fit in those decks. Hulk, strongest there is, 2 green 3/3. Gamma, let's see, there's that Gamma tag. Berserker Hero, trample. When a Hulk enters with a 1/1 counter, so he's a 4/4. Then at the beginning of your upkeep, you double those. So 1 would be 2, 2, 4, 4, 8. But that's each Gamma creature you control. So I don't know who would be the general for this. I feel like you'd want more than just green in there, like maybe green and red, but that seems pretty good. Mr. Immortal, 1 of the green, 2/1. Return this card from your graveyard from exile. Whoa. That's like a that's like a squee. That's like a squee. Better squee? Maybe. But that's definitely squee. There's combos with that for sure. Return of the Mole Man, 1 of the green. Enchantment, landfall. Whenever land you control enters, you may mill 2 cards. You could stop right there, and I think this card is crazy already. Fetch lands, you're milling 4 cards, and in a deck that wants to do that, you're wildly paid off. 5 and a green, sacrifices enchantment, create X 1/1 green minion creature tokens that are named Molloyd, where X is the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. The tokens also have whenever this token attacks, you may mill a card. Yeah, pick this card up if you play any sort of like graveyard deck. Then, my goodness, mill 2, and then you're playing probably like Ice Tail Explorer and all that stuff to bring cards. Crazy. Rhino, Terrible Trampler, 4 green, 7/6. He better have trample. Trample, when a rhino enters, destroy target artifact or land, distribute 3/1 counters among up to 3 other target creatures. They also gain trample, but only till the end of turn. If they gave just like trample to creatures with 1/1, I think this might be playable. Otherwise, meh. Soren, Dino Devotee, 3 green, 4/4, flying, dinosaur vampire villain, which is hilarious. Scientist. I'm surprised he doesn't have like the scientist tag. Whenever Sauron enters or attacks, choose 1. Cure cancer, gain 3 life. Turn people into dinosaurs. Put a Sauron counter on another target creature. It is a green dinosaur with base power 5/5, as long as Sauron has a Sauron counter on it. If you don't know him from the comics, he's like a scientist. It's like I think he like has the option to cure cancer, and he chooses to turn people into dinosaurs instead. So that is kind of a cut on that one. Shang-Chi, Martial Mentor, 3 green, human warrior hero. If 1 or more 1 counters will be put on a creature, put twice that many. So it's like Garden Scales, doubling season, like a line of all that double counters. And then he gets 3 1/1 counters, which really means he gets 6 1/1 counters if you power him up. Sure, put him in that deck. Wolverine Claws Out, 3 green, 2/5, Mutant Berserker Hero. Whenever you may have Wolverine assign combat damage as though he weren't blocked, and then whenever a mutant you control attacks, double his power. So he's attacking for 4. I think this goes in the other Wolverine deck, the one that's from the Secret Layers. It's also like reprinted. That like when it hits, it does damage to everybody because then you're like doubling his power and then essentially killing the board quicker. Crazy. Astonishing Spider-Man. I think this is our last couple cards here. 2 Is It or blue red. Legendary creature, Spider Human Hero, 4/4. Reach, whenever Astonishing Spider-Man attacks, you may discard your hand. If you do, just draw a card for each card you discarded. Now that one I might put in the Doctor Doom deck. If you have a bad hand, your hand's not working out the way you want, you could just pitch it. Especially if you have like a Crucible Worlds or whatever, you can get your lands back, and then you just discard 3 lands or whatever, and like hit the table for 6, and then draw a new grip. Yeah, villain or not, I think that goes in there. Swordman Steel, I think this card is bonkers. I saw it before as I was putting slides together. 4, whenever this equipment enters, draw a card for each equipment you control. And then equipped creature gets 2/2 for each equipment you control. So you're playing obviously the Captain America deck or any other equipment style deck, Cloud or anything like that. And it's just juicing that creature for every equipment that you have on the battlefield, which is probably quite a bit. Like even if you have like 3 out, it's +6. And I play like a Voltron style Iron Man Titan of Invention. I think that's what it is, Titan. And this would go crazy in there. Thanos Copter, another hilarious like meme level comic card there. 6/5/5 flying haste. When Thanos Copter enters, vehicles you control become artifact creatures. Whenever a creature you control does combat damage, draw a card. Crew 2. You wouldn't use it as your general because you can't use any of the colored ones. If this had like a 5-color thing and you could just make this like your vehicles commander, that'd be sick, but it goes in the 99 for sure. Oh, we did it. We made it. All right, everybody, thank you. Thank you for your patience while I was on vacation, and I'll get these 2 videos out to you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. The spoiler season's pretty much wrapped up. I think we got commander decks coming, and that's pretty much it. And then we got pre-release, and then we're gonna do some like we're definitely gonna play when it comes out. We might do some deck techs, whether it's digital or have like a pack opening camera that I can do for you guys. We might do it that way. Just let me know down in the comments below and I'll do it for you. Thank you. See you on the next one.